Peace, everybody. I appreciate you for clicking on and tapping in with me. My name is Charmaine. Hang out with me really quick because I want to talk about a topic that has been circulating around, I guess, in the black culture, black community, whatever you want to say it. But it's this whole notion of marry before you carry. And that notion, I think, came around, and I could be wrong, but it came around like in the Kevin Samuels era. Carried on. Everything equates to you should have married before you carry. That's why you marry before you carry. I'm going to marry before I carry. And I just never understood that, because if a relationship is going to break down, it's going to break down. Like, there's no amount of paperwork that's going to stop that. And it's just like, what happens when you have a baby within your marriage, opposed to, well, I can understand opposed to outside of it, but there's plenty of situations where people stay together for their lifetime, and they just never get married. It's for, people have it for personal beliefs, some have it for religious beliefs. Not everybody gets married under the American law or whatever, things of that situation, because, I don't know. I don't want to get into it. But there are some people that do want to be married. I, for one, I do want to be married, but, I'm just not going to jump into a situation. I never wanted to jump into a situation because, everybody is doing this. This is what I'm told that I'm supposed to do, because that has gotten me into trouble a lot in the past. Now, the whole marry before you carry thing, like I said, I just never really understood it, because, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And, that's how people end up really being heartbroken, because you never expect this for your life to happen. And, you have this perfect life painted out for you that you think is a perfect life, but we live in a reality, and just things happen, and it's just up to us to build ourselves back up from whatever happens and, move forward. A lot of people, after they get a divorce, they move on and find their real soulmate, the person that they were really supposed to be with. And it's, things happen. This is an energetic thing. But I think people use the marry before you carry thing as just like like a jab at somebody to, like, make fun, make it appear as if you're better than them, things of that nature. That's my opinion on it. But, I just never understood it. If somebody's going to cheat, what do you think? Just because they're married that they're not going to cheat? No, they're going to do it. They're probably fighting their head saying that this is the wrong thing to do. But at the end of the day, if they really liked you like that, they're not going to cheat on you. But if they married you because they thought it was the right thing to do, opposed of this is something that they want to do, there's going to be a breakdown in a marriage. So it's just like, I've never understood that. And that's why, like, when I do get married, like, I just pray that that this is, like, really my person, and I'm just not making more silly mistakes that I have made in the past, because there have been times where I have misjudged energy. Now, I have a best friend. She lost her virginity to her husband right out of high school at 18 years old. They had 4 kids together. She did the whole marry before you carry thing. And she's divorced now. And she's been divorced from him for several years. It was a situation where she's constantly trying. She was the great wife, and, all those things. She helped him advance his career, in the military. Think all the things that made, she did everything that she was supposed to do. He did not want to grow up. Once he got a little bit of money, he wasn't aware of himself. He started showing out. And she took a lot of emotional and mental abuse through that process. That's a situation of marrying before you carrying, and the person just don't want to change who they are. And so they don't change who they are. I have another situation. I watched somebody be in a relationship for, it was over 20 years. They was in a relationship for over 20 years. They did not get married. They carried their child, raised their child all the way up until their child was 18, then decided to break up. Now, while that child can say, I grew up with both of my parents. Extremely toxic situation. Extremely toxic. Like, those parents should have been split up. But, these are two people that, didn't want to leave each other. They wanted to do what they felt was the right thing to do. But it cost both of them, really, because, one person missed out on 20 plus years of their life sticking with somebody that was cheating on them constantly, and just doing the most egregious things to them, causing a split between their family. They allowed that person to do all of that. They missed out on their life when this person was still somewhat ish living the life that they wanted to live. And then when their mess started spewing over and everybody started to find out like what this person was doing in his spare time, it was just like, oh, fuck it. Like, everybody knows now. So it's just like, I might as well continue to do it. But they stuck together for the sake of saying that they have a child in common. Completely toxic situation. So it's just like, what do you say to that? There's two separate situations where the energy was just fucked up. And it broke down. There was going to be a breakdown regardless. So I just never really understood that whole marry before you carry thing. And you got to think, like, people change. Like, I can tell you, my mindset from when I was in high school is completely different from my mindset now as a 35-year-old mother. And people change throughout that time. People grow, people stay stagnant. And, if one person is growing and one person is not wanting to grow, then, are you supposed to just stay there just because, y'all have kids? Are you supposed to let your mental health deteriorate because society is telling you you're a bad person if you leave your relationship that's not healthy for you? And this is for men and women. This is just not a woman thing. This is a man thing too. A lot of men, their emotional and mental health get ignored too in relationships. And they're looked at as the bad guy when they finally decide to leave that situation. It is not just a woman thing. But society tells you that something must be wrong with you for your relationship to break down and you're married or you have kids in common, whatever the situation is. This is what society is training you. And that creates an anxiety inside of the person because it's like, oh, I have to stay in this situation because this is looked at as wrong, when really that person is not supposed to be in your life anymore. God is removing that person for a reason. It doesn't look good, but God is moving that for a reason. Removing that person for a reason, because there's other things. There's somebody else that's for you, or maybe there's not somebody that's for you. We don't talk about that. Not everybody is meant to be in a relationship. Some people are on this planet to birth children. There are surrogates. That's for an example. They're here to birth children, but, they may not want to be in a relationship. They may want to just have them and their husband or whatever the case. Not everybody is here to get married. Some people are here as a personal journey because they need to learn self-love. Like, that is something that's really neglected, and that's just something that I want to push a lot here on my channel because it's something that's really neglected. Some people are here like it's cool to have like a relationship or whatever, but some people, their soul needs to be by themselves and grow. And this is why some people get addicted to that. Look at monks. Those people, they're by themselves and they're perfectly fine. I don't think they get married, or I don't know. I really don't know how monks go, but yeah, it's situations like that. But we're just so programmed that this is how your life needs to look. And if your life doesn't look like this, then we're going to point the finger and we're going to call you all these names because you're a failure. And that's just a part of the programming of people trying to tell you who you are. And they're not seeing the breakdown that's going on within the home because they're not there. They're not seeing the emotional abuse. They're not seeing the verbal abuse. And, in some occasions, The physical abuse, they're not seeing that. They're just seeing that you're with this person, you have kids with this person, you need to stay with that person. And if you make the bad decision with that person and the relationship doesn't work out, you did something wrong. It's constant roadblocks that's put up. And it's just like, no, fuck that. You can't tell me how to live my life, and you can't tell me that, you know, these situations don't occur. Things happen, like legit things happen. And we have to look at it from both sides, not just the women's side of it. This is a human thing. It's a human matter. But I just wanted to get out on here and put my little 2 cents out about that, because it's just insane to like really watch somebody completely lose their life. Not like passing away or anything, but miss out on the best years of their lives. And, you know, it was on the strength of, this is what you need to stay with this person because you have a kid with them, because this is what society says. And now I see how weak mentally this person is now that that relationship is over. I see how weak mentally both of the parties are actually now that that situation is over. But I want to hear you all's thoughts and opinions on this. Are you with the marry before you carry situation? Do you think people just need to mind their business and allow people to have their own personal earth journey while they're here and figure things out? Because at the end of the day, we're all figuring this thing out. We all run into roadblocks, but it shouldn't be a roadblocks at the behest, I think that's the word, of society telling you that this is how you need to live your life. I think it should, if it's a roadblock, it needs to be a roadblock on your journey to growth and self-development and all that good stuff. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you later.